All right, gentlemen, welcome to week 11. This is the final week that we face off against other divisions. The last 3 weeks, we'll play against our own division again as last chance to really shake up the standings as we make the home stretch here towards the playoffs. Great job to everybody so far, especially myself and Delwyn. Pat ourselves on the back, been off to a great start. However, starting next week is when I'll go through the who's officially eliminated and who is not. It's way too many possibilities still at this point with 4 weeks to go. But a lot of people have for grabs. Not really anyone yet that's fully out of the way yet. Not even you, Luke. Not yet. So let's look at this last week before we get into the madness of interdivision play. First, I want to talk about the waiver that went through this morning. 9 teams put in for Ty Chandler. 9. That is a new record in our league for the most people trying to get one player in a given week. Congrats to Derek for being the lucky winner. Put in 29. OP was the closest with second at 26. There's also a 23, a 21, a 20, 15. I mean, y'all were all right there. But congrats to Derek for winning the Ty Chandler sweepstakes. Everyone believing in Josh Jobs to the moon. Love it for the old UT grad. See what he can do on a team that actually wants him and believes in his abilities. But it's Wednesday night. We're going to go ahead and try and do some predictions for this week. It might be a little difficult as some teams probably haven't even changed their rosters after waivers just went through this morning. So I could make some of this a little bit exciting. But we will push through and do the best we can. First up, we have Ryan versus myself. I'm projected to win currently by 10. Doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot at this point, though, again, as people may not have made lineup changes. But Ryan's team is the loser of the sweepstakes as he has Madison, which is the reason why everyone was going for Mr. Chandler. So looking like he's probably out this week, or at least that's what everyone in this league is believing so far. I'm the only player that has a bye. Nothing too bad. Pretty full strength rosters. Jalen Warden for Ryan, starting to look like a 50-50 split, if not the lead dog for Pittsburgh. Keaton Mitchell is the new Devon A-Chain. Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, some big names. Kincaid has been a great pickup. I almost picked him up a couple weeks ago. Really wish I would have put in for him. But as usual, Ryan's team is rounding into form. He's gotten a competitive roster, trying to make his push in the playoffs and be relevant, and he's done just that to make himself a formidable opponent. I do lose Olave this week, which is a little bit of a shame, as Carr being out was actually great for Olave, as Winston is not afraid to sling the ball, as he showed in that game, throwing literally across the entire field for the touchdown. I am hopeful that I get Khalil Herbert back this week. I do think that's finally going to happen, which don't know that I need it, but would be nice to play him possibly in my flex. But either way, I'm going to take myself to get the dub and continue the streak rolling, and I think officially confirm my playoff spot with that. Delwyn versus Michael. Oh, Michael projected for a balmy 63. Let's see. Pitts is out on bye. His tight end, and his kicker, both from the Falcons, are on bye right now. Justin Jefferson likely not quite back yet. Maybe one more week or two for Justin Jefferson to come back. Currently doesn't have a tight end or a kicker on his roster, so we'll see what he decides to do. Delwyn survived his bye again last week and just took the loss against me with having like 4 or 5 players on bye. So they're all back. He is at almost full strength, just one receiver who's on bye who he probably wasn't going to start anyway. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Jones, Michael's team could be competitive. However, with the bye and Delwyn now being at full strength, I don't think Michael has a chance. We'll take Delwyn by 30. 30, Delwyn. Do it to him. Luke versus Mac. Luke is projected to lose by 14 with the return of A-Chain supposedly coming back this week. He's already got him in the lineup, but he might be projected for 0 right now. I'm not sure since he's still technically IR. I'm not sure how they're projecting him for maybe why there's a little bit of a gap in amount of points. But Mac's team looking real good right now with CJ Stroud looking like an insane year for the rookie. Jonte Williams finally starting to get a workhorse type role. Travis Etienne, been good all year. Tyreek Hill in the running for Offensive Player of the Year, top receiver without a doubt. Thielen has been not good recently, but Frank Reich is going to be taking over the play calls. Maybe that'll go back like it was at the start of the season now with him retaking back over. Trey McBride looking good with Kyler Murray back. Can he keep that going? We'll see. Najee Harris, yep, no thanks, but he has actually looked all right the last few weeks. However, rumors are is that Warren has actually been told he is the lead back, even though they're pretty much in a 50-50 split at this point. He does lose two people to bye. I'm not sure they would have started for him. So Josh Downs is definitely a startable type player, but Jonnu Smith is probably never going to start after what Trey McBride did last week. Luke finally getting A-Chain back from the trade, starting the Cowboys D again. I guess he listened to Dylan after not starting him that 1 week when they put up like 20-something. Still got Cam Akers riding the bench. He's believing in that comeback from, I think it was an Achilles injury. Good on you, Luke. Believe. Singletary went off last week. Can he do it again? Will Luke start him? Will it matter? All great questions. He definitely looked great last week. We'll see if Pierce comes back or not for the Texans to take some of his carries away. All in all, Mac's team is looking real good for this week and beyond. Mac's going to be a force in the playoffs. I think I'll take Mac to win this week. Barrett versus OP. Barrett having a sneaky good quiet season right now. Same record as Delwin. Third best record in the league, I believe. These are projected for a total of 0.6 difference right now. Both full rosters. No one on bye or hurt and not playing that's on their roster at the moment. All are projected for some points. OP does lose Bijan and Taysom Hill to bye. But Barrett loses Kamara and Zach Moss. And Josh Palmer is still on IR. So not a whole lot of decisions for Barrett. His roster is his roster. He's probably not going to throw Jerick McKinnon in there, but could if he had to. Probably got Darrell Henderson for one more week for the Rams. I don't think their running back is back off IR yet. Big losses for both teams, honestly. Kamara's a huge loss, but Bijan is a big loss for OP too. So we'll kind of call that a wash as far as same loss for teams. Barrett needing Travis Kelce to continue to be Travis Kelce minus those 1 or 2 weeks where he hadn't done much. He needs Taylor Swift to show up to the game. I guess that's really the key to unlocking old Mr. Kelce. Dak Prescott's been on fire the last few weeks for Barrett, starting to throw himself in the MVP type conversation. I think that's a little bit bold. Can't wait to hear from Jeffrey on that one. Jeffrey, do you really think Dak Prescott is actually like MVP for the NFL this season? Does he even have a chance at that right now? But Russell Wilson's sneaky decent for OP this year. I mean, he's had multiple pass touchdowns in like 80% of the games or something. TJ Hawkinson went off last week with Dobbs at quarterback. Does that continue? Probably not to the same degree, but this is going to be a great battle between these two. I do think Barrett has a slight advantage with Addison as Jefferson is not back yet. So I do think that Addison Kelce will do better than the Hawkinson Allen. With Keenan Allen being banged up, I'm a little wary of that. I do think he'll play, but I think that's just getting injured in that last game will be just the difference. I know Barrett wishes I didn't do this, but I'm going to pick Barrett to win in a nail biter. Jeffrey versus Dylan after the big trade last week. So not the same week they play each other, but not far apart. They get to face off against each other. Dylan and the Lions are projected to win by 2. Maybe this was Dylan's plan all along because Jeffrey has some massive bye issues here with 1, 2, 3, 4 players on bye. That's our entire bench. And even if you had all the right positions to fill that, which he does not, he's missing a defense. He's missing a tight end. Going to be very interesting. He does have a ton of running backs, more running backs than you could ever even know who to start or what to do with them. But Dylan, for the first time ever, Detroit. He's got the entire Detroit team and even one on his bench as well. I didn't even know Donovan Peoples-Jones was at Detroit now. All right. But smart gameplay maybe by Dylan here, knowing, all right, I'm going to play him in 2 weeks. I'll give him all the bye week players in that trade. Maybe, Dylan's just thinking that far ahead. But even with Jeffrey not having two players in the lineup, he's only projected to lose by 2 right now. Uh, but the good news for Dylan is Detroit plays at home. That always means better points for them. And they play Chicago, who has been better as of late and should have Justin Fields back. So that could be a very high scoring game back and forth to really give Dylan a chance at the win in this matchup. However, I do think Jeffrey's players, and if he makes any changes to get towards a full lineup, I do think Jeffrey will win this, but I do think Dylan will come close to hitting that 100 point again. He'll get near 90, but since it's at home in Chicago, but I do think Jeffrey will still win. William versus Austin. William projected for 103. I don't know if we've seen you projected for triple digits yet this season. All right. Everyone figuring some things out here towards the end of the season. Projected to beat Austin currently by 10, 6-4 team versus a 5-5. Great even matchup here. William hoping he gets Justin Fields back. They're saying he should probably play, projecting him to be back. He does lose Drake London and Zeke to bye. Austin has not moved in Patrick Mahomes yet. He still has Baker Mayfield. I'm assuming that will get changed, and that we'll see for sure the total point differential disparity get a lot smaller. CeeDee Lamb for William has been on fire, probably the number one receiver over the last 3 weeks. Dameon Pierce, though, not sure if he's back yet. Williams got some holes, but he's got some strong players in there to keep him afloat. Getting Justin Fields back is a big win. Austin, though, has got a good team. It's really kind of shocking. This team's 5-5 with Eckler, Mahomes, James Cook, McLaurin, Evan Ingram, and Devontae Smith on the bench as well. He hasn't moved in. I'm going to bet. This is a tough one. I'm going to take Austin on the upset. I'm going to believe in Austin makes the moves, and Austin sneaks a win. It's going to be close. Williams going to have a good week, but I think Austin will get the dub. Derek versus Allen, 2 6-4 teams. Derek is projected to win by about 9, closer to 8. Derek going in on the Vikings. Dobbs as his quarterback, and then just won the Ty Chandler sweepstakes. Already moved him into the lineup as well. Benching Deontay Foreman and Calvin Ridley. Tough call. Calvin Ridley started hot in that week 1. Everyone thought he was going to be that 1,000-yard plus receiver, 10-touchdown guy that he'd been talking about. Hadn't looked so good recently, but always hard to bench. So it'll be interesting to see the decisions that Derek makes on that one. Allen loses Ramondre Stevenson and Tyler Algier. So who's he got at running back? Tyjae Spears and Latavius Murray. Ouch. Yeah, ouch. Spears has been a good back. He's definitely not the lead back, but he can break one here and there. Latavius Murray, you are hoping falls into the end zone, which happened last week, so maybe. However, Jamar Chase, assuming his back's all good, should be great. Mike Evans is a 25-point scorer or a 3-point scorer. You never know. Bad news for Allen as well. Elijah Moore as his flex with Kyron Williams, that Rams running back I was referencing for Barrett earlier. I don't think he's back yet. So having to play Elijah Moore, who no longer has Deshaun Watson as his quarterback, and they've said they're going with DTR. Mike will do some research on who that is right after this video, I'm sure. Was a stud in the preseason as a rookie out of UCLA. Had a great preseason. Everyone got super hyped about him. Looked awful. Trash in the one game he got to start. Rookie, and he's having to play some tough defenses, and the Steelers are not going to be any easier. But so Allen having to start Elijah Moore, that hurts. And Derek is another super contender for best team in the league for sure. I think he gets it done this week. I like Mac's team better overall than Derek's, but I do think Derek gets the win this week. And the last matchup, Matt versus Rusty, a 3-7 versus a 4-6. We talked about the start of the season. Matt's got bad luck in this league and has had bad luck for many years. Looks like it's continuing. These teams are both projected in the low 80s, high 70s. Tough, but a good week to play each other because one of you has to win, unless you somehow tie with our decimal system, and then that would just actually be even more perfect for this matchup. Rusty has got Heineke in at quarterback right now, though, and he's on bye and maybe not even the starter anymore after the injury he took. Doesn't have a backup quarterback for now. We'll see what he does with that. But that looks like the only player he's missing off of this week. Matt is missing his kicker, so they're going to both get a few more points, and 2 receivers as well. Actually, 3 because T. Higgins has already been ruled out and Waller's on IR. So Matt's entire bench is out, and he's got a kicker that's out as well. So Matt's got some adjusting to do. These point totals will go up. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. Bad news for Rusty that this was good up until this point of the season. Rocking 2 Browns. Jerome Ford's been great since Nick Chubb went down, and Amari Cooper has been great with Deshaun Watson. With both of them out, you got to think that their offense in general is less effective, so that hurts. But Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, he's got good pieces. Chris Godwin, all season, he's had good receivers where he's had to make choices of who to start and who to not. Matt, Christian McCaffrey. CMC, how has this dude only got 3 wins? That guy alone should have won in 4 weeks. James Conner is back and looked great last week. Noah Brown, I'm assuming he got him at some point off the waiver recently, has had an incredible last 2 weeks as well. Both these teams, Matt, without a doubt, has the best 2 players. I think Rusty has the better overall roster. This is going to be an ugly finish, and Matt's got some hard decisions with his entire bench and kicker out as to what he's going to do. I'm going to take Rusty to pull the upset. It's going to be interesting, very interesting to see how that goes, but I'll take Rusty. Good luck, fellas. Remember, this is the last week before we play our divisions. We got 4 weeks to playoffs. The last 3 weeks we'll play against our interdivisions again one final time. Remember, the top 2 in each division go to playoffs, except the last division. Only the top team in the lowest division gets to go in, and then it's the wild card for the most points for team that didn't make it in the playoffs. We'll talk more about that in the next few weeks as we go over who's eliminated and who's not. Have a great week.